Hey, welcome to the Silverfox Hustle podcast. I'm Shasi, and guess what? This is episode number 10. And thank you very much to all listeners for the support, friends, family, for subscribing, and to whoever who's new to the podcast, thanks as well. I appreciate it. And do not forget to also leave your reviews, your comments, and your ratings on your favorite podcast platforms like Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. And also share your thoughts on my social media platforms as well. And I promise to bring more quality content and quality guests to the table as well. And speaking of quality guests, I do have one today in the house, if you want to call it the house. He is one of the best goalkeepers Singapore has ever produced. He played for Geylang, Young Lions, and Home United. Played in 3 SEA Games as well. He played in 3 AFF Cup competitions, 2 Suzuki Cups, and 1 Tiger Cup, as it was known before, and winning it twice, 2 times. And guess what? He was the MVP in one of the editions, the very first one that he played in 2004. He played in World Cup qualifiers as well as the Asian Games. He was nominated for the 2006 Asian Footballer of the Year, the one and only from Singapore to date. He retired with 73 international caps and more than 300 league games in Singapore. And I'm going to ask him why he retired at an early age as well. That will be interesting. He also had stints at Arsenal, Man City, and at trials at Grasshoppers Football Club. Now, he is currently working at Nanyang Poly, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on and what he's doing exactly there. Welcome to the Silverfox Hustle podcast, Mr. Lionel Lewis. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Shasi. Thank you for having me.
It's always my pleasure to have great guests on the show. So thanks for being on the show. Now let's get started. But before
Sure.
that, I want to ask you 2 questions, right? Number one, have you always been this tall?
I guess I shot up in secondary school.
Okay. And
Yeah, so
what's your height?
I think about 187 now, if I'm not
187.
maybe shrinking.
Maybe shrinking due to what? To all the stress working from home.
I guess might be due to age though.
Okay. The reason why I asked you is because obviously, I'm pretty vertically challenged, so that's why I asked you that. And
Yeah.
another question, right, before we start. You're a goalkeeper, right? You're a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers always crazy.
You can say so.
What?
Apparently, we appear normal, but
Yep.
once we're on the field, that's it, man. You don't want to really mess with us.
Only on the field? You sure
Yeah,
about
only
that?
on the field. I'm pretty sure about myself, only on the field.
Okay. Let's get started with your childhood, right? You went to Bishan Park Secondary School, I believe. Were you already playing football in secondary school, or you started late?
Yes, I was. But I started out as a defender. So in the
Okay.
C division then, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
couldn't make it as a goalkeeper. So, played a tall defender, not bad. Go out for corners, try to nick 1 or 2 in and get back. Yeah.
You you said you couldn't make it as a goalkeeper then. How come?
Yeah, I don't know. I went for trials in school and I couldn't make it as a goalkeeper, but apparently I was tall, could
Yeah.
run. They
Yep.
say, okay, I'll try outfield.
Oh, I see. I see. When did your love for the game start? When did it start? Is it in primary school, while watching football at home, or
I would say primary 6.
okay?
Yeah, because that was my last year, and I think I did play a handful of games only for my school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Braddock Primary. Yeah,
Okay.
so just a handful of games, and as my classmates influenced me, they love football. They kick around in plastic ball after school. So that's how I started.
I see. I
Loving
see.
the game. Yeah,
Uh, your start in club football, right? Your club football, it started at Geylang. Was it called Geylang International then? Geylang United? What was it
yeah,
called
it's
then?
Geylang United.
Geylang United, right? How did it start at club level for you?
Well, I went for trials for the under 16 because previously I think you might have known that all S-League clubs they have the under 14, under 16s, and so on.
Yes, correct.
So I went for under 16 trials.
Yep.
Basically, I went to 2 other clubs, couldn't make it. So
Okay.
the third one and final one I went to was actually Geylang United.
Okay.
So I just accompanied my friend there and I went for trials.
Yeah.
My surprise, I actually did not make it as a player as well. I went for
Okay.
as a defender, couldn't make
Okay.
it, and I saw Robert
Yep. Robert
Lim.
Lim. Yep.
Yeah, he was then the youth development guy, I think, in Geylang
Okay.
United.
Okay.
Yeah, he says, you have height. Do you want to try? Can you play a goalkeeper? Since you know that there's no more chances for you anywhere as an outfield player, so why not just put on a gloves and try?
Okay.
So I didn't have a glove. I borrowed a glove from someone there who
Right.
obviously did not get selected.
Okay.
So just took his glove and I trained, and then he waited for me to return to him after.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I got called back for the second trial.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so you did not make it as a defender, and at that same trial, Robert actually pulled you aside and said, "Why don't you try out as a goalkeeper? Because of your height, obviously." And at that time, how tall were you roughly?
I think about 182, 183-ish.
So
Yeah.
you were already
Yeah.
like many hits taller than the other players then. I think that was a good call, wasn't it, by Robert? Because
Yeah.
we talk about talent identification, or that wasn't basically based on talent, right? It was based on your
Physique,
physical
yeah.
attributes, and I don't think you have looked back since then, right? And
Yeah.
how was Robert, by the way, like as a coach
Yeah.
at Geylang?
He's basically a very disciplined guy. I think
Okay.
he's very strict. Yeah. So, but when time to work, I think you better not,
Yeah.
play around. I think
Yeah.
it's best you just, focus on training, doing your best. Yeah. But
Yeah.
after training and after games, he's fine. He's a good mentor, I guess.
Would you say he was or he is the main, probably the he was very instrumental in getting you started to the game, first of all, at Geylang, at the club, as well as started you on the right path, and obviously after whatever you've achieved, right? So would you say that he is one of the most important persons?
Yeah, it is. I think without Robert, basically, I would say that I wouldn't be around. There won't be any Lionel Lewis, any in the football context and so on.
Yeah.
So basically, and yeah, I'm really thankful for that opportunity.
And Robert, if you are listening into this podcast, that is from Lionel Lewis to you. Thanks, Robert. Now, besides Robert, right, who else were your early mentors, especially starting out? You need a little bit of guidance, especially at that level, when you're a youth playing, starting out, especially in a club, because it's very tough, right? You first time at a club. So who were your first few coaches or mentors who pulled you through?
I think, like I said, I think the Robert focused a lot on the under 16 team then. So yeah, he was helping me pretty much on my goalkeeping aspects.
Okay.
Yeah. So my
Yeah.
first year in Geylang as an under 16, there's another guy. He was apparently a goalkeeper coach. He's called Martin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he's out of contact anymore.
All
He's
right.
not in football anymore. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, he was there as a goalkeeper coach, helping
Yeah.
Robert and so on. So he's basically working on me with all my drills and so on.
Uh, at that time, at that level, age group, who were playing in your side?
Well, in my team,
Yes.
I think
Whoever who's gotten through and maybe still playing, or retired like you, or
I think
anyone.
Said Fadil was the closest.
Oh, okay. Said Fadil. Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, the rest all Razale Khalid.
Razali Khalek. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, the rest I think literally stopped.
Okay. And
Yeah.
obviously, you all went up the ranks and became obviously good players. I think both of them played for the national team. Razalik, not as many caps as you did, but I think that start you had with Geylang, and I think, would you say that was a pretty good stepping stone in terms of the club that you were at? Instead of being at other clubs, because if you were at other clubs, I think you wouldn't have made it, I think.
Yeah, like to be honest, I guess I went for the two other trials previously and couldn't make it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
Where
best not
was
to
this?
name the clubs. I
Where
think it's
was this?
best to name the clubs. Yeah.
Come on, Lionel.
There's still one club is still around.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Like,
other one has already folded. Yeah, so
okay,
yeah,
I'll respect your decision not to say those two clubs. And
yeah,
at back at home, right?
mm,
Parents wise, was there any objections? This
definitely huge.
okay,
Yeah,
huge. Okay.
huge. Yeah, because I was literally training like 3 times a week.
Okay.
So yeah, I live in Bishan, it's a
Okay.
central part, but I need to travel to Bedok every day, 3 times a week after school.
Yeah.
And on usually for the under 16 games, it's usually on Saturday or Sundays morning or
Yep.
in the afternoon. So yeah, It's like 3 or 4 times a week traveling from Bishan all the way to Bedok for games, training, and so on. So that was, my parents were a bit worried lah, because of my
Okay.
studies, worried it'd be affected and so on.
And what did you say to them?
Uh, I told them I will complete my studies, but at my pace, definitely
Okay.
they respected that. They
Yeah.
supported me. And at the ultimate goal is that to have a degree, lah, which eventually I managed to get.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, carry on, please.
but the agreement was at my own pace. Yeah.
Right.
So that was the agreement.
So going along, at what point, right? I mean, we're talking about the objections and all. At what point did they like pretty much not give up, but relented and let you go on and let go of the leash?
I think the period where most important, I think, is basically O levels. During
Yeah.
the O levels, before you're heading to poly and so on. I think they're pretty worried that how will I fare. Yeah,
Yeah.
because prelims I did pretty bad. I got about
Okay.
40 plus points if I'm not wrong. It's like
40 plus points.
seriously bad. Yeah, I'm not
Right.
kidding.
Right.
So but I told them I did not study for it, and I told them when the actual O levels I really studied because I knew what I wanted. I knew
Yeah.
I wanted to go to in Nanyang Poly, the one
Yeah.
and only sports course available then.
Okay.
So yeah, I after the prelim, I worked really hard. So I knew what I wanted. I took the 5 subjects and I complete. When I got my results, that's it. I knew. I
What
knew where I
was
was.
what was your result for O
18,
level?
18. Yeah,
Wha-
if I'm not wrong.
that's a huge
NSCCA is 18. Yeah, I think it's 20 and 2 points. Yeah, 18.
yeah, but that's a huge improvement, obviously, from 40 and like you said, you knew what you wanted. There was a goal in front of you, and obviously you gave them your reasons, and you did manage to pull that off. So well done, Lionel. And obviously, it is about that, isn't it? It's about the time management between studies and football. And a lot of people say that no, I'm not going for. I'm talking about youngsters right nowadays.
Yeah,
No, I'm not going for training today because I need to study. I think you can do both. Coming
of course,
from
definitely.
coming from experience, I've done that
Yeah,
before, and to say that you don't want to go for training because of you don't want to go for training because of exams, I think that is a cop out. It's an excuse, really, right? So
yeah,
I think you've done it before, and you said this on this podcast as well. So those of you listening in, young footballers, I think you can mix
yeah.
both. Now, when you started off at Geylang and then you slowly made the jump right to the S League team, at what age was that?
Well, I was just 18. If I'm not wrong, I'm just a year 1 poly student.
All right, at Nanyang, right?
Young, yeah.
So you played your very first S League game when you were 18.
Yep.
Okay, and can you remember that game?
Tampines, I guess. First game. S
Play.
League.
Okay,
Tampines. In Tampines.
you played against Geylang at Tampines.
Yeah.
Sorry, you played against Tampines at Tampines.
Tampines, yeah.
Okay, and how was the experience like?
Amazing. I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
honestly.
What was
Yeah.
the score?
I can't recall, but I think we did not lose though. It's either
Okay.
draw or we won, yeah.
Okay. So it
Maybe
must have
0-1. So,
been like, okay, this is the first game out of the way.
yeah.
I think this is going good, so you can, it gives you a little bit of confidence, the push that, yeah, maybe I can do this, and make it big. Who were the
Yeah.
other goalkeepers then at that time?
I think it was myself and Sharil. It was pretty tough because
Okay.
the whole team at the point of time in 2001, Geylang
Yeah.
United, a very, very strong outfield team.
Okay.
But both goalkeepers are pretty young. So Sharil was only 20 and
Okay.
myself 18. So Jiang Jung, then coach, he had
Okay.
to believe in his 2 young goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rest of the team were amazing talent. Quality. You have players like Kade, Juric,
Mm.
Brian Bothwell. I think you know all this.
Yeah.
Billy
Yeah.
Bone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back at Geylang then, and you have 2 young rookie goalkeepers, I would say.
Okay. It's a good point, right? It's a very, very good point that you raised. How was it like training every day with these guys? Because who was Alex there? Alex Juric?
Yeah, Alex Juric was there.
I'm sure he had some words for you as well when you were playing. Not
Of course. Yeah.
and not good words at times. Sometimes, you're talking
Yeah.
about all these pros, and I know Alex as well, and and all these players who want to win, who
Yep.
they can't accept losing sometimes. And
Of course.
what was the experience like as a young goalkeeper starting out like that and being hammered right, left, and center sometimes during trainings? How was
Yeah.
that?
I think it was amazing because for me, the learning experience was, if you ask me, I think it's amazing. Nowhere you can actually learn by actually playing and making mistakes from there.
Yeah.
So by playing with experienced players, that's where I would say that our youth actually currently missing or lacking. Our
Yeah.
young lions or so on, I have this thinking is that, if you play with better players, you eventually become better. So if you play with amongst your age groups and stuff, you can only be at a certain level max.
Yeah.
So during my days, I have Kade in front of me, I have Zulkarnain Zainal, I have, I have Winston, I have Robin,
Yeah.
like literally the national lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, there, and I think it's amazing the kind of support they gave for a young goalkeeper. I think it's and Brian as well, the then captain, Billy Boone. So
Yeah.
they were saying that just give your best. Anything can happen.
Did you miss out on a league title then, or did
No,
did
we
they?
won. We won the
Oh, you
first year.
won. Yeah, correct. That year when when Winston and Robin was there as
Yeah,
well, right? They were there, right? And so it was an amazing
it,
experience, wasn't it? Like
yeah,
like a young goalkeeper coming in, playing with all the best players, local as well as one of the best foreign uh, setup in the league, and then winning the title as well. It must have been brilliant. And of course, we talk about Jiangzhou. We had Patrick Ang there as well, right? As the
yeah.
as the chairman. What a chairman he was as well. It's amazing. Uh, the goalkeepers you talked about, Sharil was there. How was he? Was he
I
competitive as
think,
well?
yeah, of course, we both were very competitive. I think both wanted to play, but
Yeah,
off the field, we are very good friends. We always travel to training
great.
together, at home together because we
Yeah,
live quite nearby
yeah,
during our younger days.
yeah.
So yeah, we even travel overseas as well together.
Great. And he's doing pretty well as well now. I think he's into social services or something like
Yeah,
that. And that's great, Sharil. Well done. Uh, Young Lions in 2003. Was that 2003 when you left and played for Young Lions? You got the call from? Was it
Sivaji.
Sivaji?
Yeah, Sivaji then, the then young lion coach. Yeah.
And I think that was the first year when the Young Lions took part in the S League, wasn't it? The first year,
Yeah,
I
it
remember
was.
then. And that
We
was
got
when
hammered.
actually not really, not really.
But
I where did y'all end up last, right? Or was
I
it
think so. Yeah,
okay? I
I was
don't
not wrong.
think
Yeah,
I don't think in terms of hammered meaning got trashed, and I
yeah,
think games were not that bad
yeah.
then, right?
We could compete, but up to a certain level. But
Correct.
because we don't have any foreigners with us. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And what was what was it like? Because I know I played against the Young Lions in my very last year. I was at Geylang, in fact, in
Okay.
2003 when you guys were at the Young Lions. How was it? How was the setup like with PN Sivaji, and then who was the assistant coach then?
Well, I can't recall. Kim Paulson, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, yeah. For a
Okay.
short while, yeah, I think it's Kim.
How was it like?
I think it was tough. It was really tough because like I mentioned, all young players coming together to compete in the S League against teams who are financially much stronger. Yeah, and with much more quality than what we have. Because most of our players don't really have the experience at that level yet. If you're talking about in 2003, yeah, some of us were just up and coming, just coming into the S League. For the rest of the players, yeah. So,
How
but
was
it's a
the
very, yeah.
how was the move made? As in, like, did Sivaji call certain players that he wanted from all the clubs? How was the move made?
I guess so. I
Yeah.
guess they had a list of players which they wanted. So eventually, they were saying that this was actually more for the SEA Games,
Right.
more for preparation for SEA Games in 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh.
that's how the SEA Games team lah, basically. So basically, we
Right.
were all young guns
Right.
preparing for SEA Games at the end of the year.
Right. If I'm not wrong, right, I think that was one of the so-called best generations, young generation of players. I think in that time they had Sharali Shah playing in that squad. Wasn't he playing in that
Yeah.
same team as you? Who else played in that team? I think
I think
those were pretty good players.
Bai was there as well, if I'm not wrong.
No, Bai was at
No, Bai
Geylang
was at
still.
Geylang. Yeah,
Yes.
after when I left to Home United, then he came by.
Right.
Because I was in Young Lions for 2003 and the first half of 2004.
Right.
Yeah. So I had Razale were all there. So
Okay.
Razale, Mustaqim,
Right.
yeah, some
Pretty
other.
pretty decent, players if you think about it right now. And they could.
Then one of the better younger players. Then yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
young. Correct. You're definitely right. How was playing under PN Sivaji like?
Honestly, it's totally different. Yeah,
Okay.
because like Jiang Jung, it was more of a attacking game. We are we playing because we got a quality, like I mentioned. Then in 2002 as well, we still have the strong team.
Yeah.
So 2003 coming into a very young team. Basically, I think tactics wise we were more defensive.
Okay.
Yeah, trying not to allow our opponents to score, but
Mm.
at the same time we are working a lot on our counter attack. We
Okay.
being young guns. Yeah,
Okay. And I mean that's pretty understandable. You know, if you're
yeah,
talking about you spoke about it, in fact, about the inexperience that you had in the team, so you had to a certain extent play a little bit of a defensive game. Having said that, you had loads of chances to make a name for yourself because you were always under attack, right? So you
yeah.
played all the games. Who was your other goalkeeper at Young Lions?
Wow, I think it's Alex Chia. I not gone. Alex and Pang Ching-guan. I
Pang,
think
okay. Pang is
yeah,
at one of the team managers now at
Japanese.
Tampines, right, right.
Yeah,
Okay. So, and you played obviously almost all the games, right?
yeah. No, sorry, I think it was Alex, wasn't Pang. It was Alex.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you played almost all the games, and I think
yeah.
to a certain degree as well, that was pretty good experience because you had the chance to be in action like almost all the time, right? Uh,
Overtime every game.
Sorry.
It's overtime every game.
Uh, okay, what was your impression then of the project, the Young Lions project? Because you played in it, you
Yeah.
played in the very first one, which is a good
Mhm.
thing that that you are here and you're talking about it. So, what was your impression then about that project?
It was a bold move to prepare us for SEA Games.
Right.
Yeah. But honestly, in my opinion, if having opportunity, I would rather stay with a club then.
Okay.
Reason being, like I mentioned, if you play with better players, week in, week out, you train with better players, you're
Yeah.
actually able to,
Yeah.
be a better player yourself.
Right. And then people also fail to realize that as well. I think the non-football people and I don't want to be critical, right? But we're talking about the non-football people.
True.
It is a fact. You play with
Yeah.
good players, you get better. And we are
Of
not even
course.
talking about matches. We are talking about training sessions because that
Yeah.
is where you make your living, right? As in the training sessions because you see them almost every day and you see them doing things that why is this guy doing
Yeah.
this? And then you want to try to do that as well.
True.
I
Very-
used to be at Gomba and then Surachai
Yeah. I played
Jatura
with him.
Patarapong. Yes, you played with him as well, right? So when I came into training one of the days, he was running and he said, "Hey, come, Shasi, let's do a warm up before the training. It's a
Yeah.
training session, right? Let's do a
This is not warm up. I
let's
tried with him before.
let's do a warm up." And he was going round and round and round the field. Obviously, you don't want to do that now. Okay, it's a different culture than then
Right.
and now. But he was just going around and I was following him. And after like about 10, I don't know how many laps he went, like 10 or. And I just said, "What is this guy doing?" And then during training session, it was a hard session as well,
And he was
and
running on non-stop.
he
Yeah.
went at it as well. So I'm just giving a point. I'm not talking about the running part, but I'm just saying, right? If you keep on doing and you look at all these good players, and Jatura Surachai was one of the best players
Yeah.
you can ever play with. So that's the point I'm trying to make. So and even the foreign players now, if you compare to then, I again don't want to be critical, but I think there is a difference. Home United came knocking,
Yeah.
right? Who made that
Yes.
move? As in, who called you up?
Okay. Like again, I knew what I wanted because I knew I wanted to sign on after my diploma.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was a
Why?
regular. Why? Stability.
Okay.
Because you see,
Good
there's
answer.
still a lot of uncertainty in football then,
Yeah.
and as a young boy, and then having and my promise to my parents, I still need to get a degree. Yeah. So basically, in terms of financial wise and so on, I think if I sign on, it's not that you get big money, but it allows me to actually complete my NS. Number one,
Yeah.
I have not shared this, so something very special which I'm going to share today.
Nice.
Yeah. Number one is for my NS. Number two, within the 5 years, like I mentioned, to complete my NS and at the same time pursue a degree.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like a platform or a foundation for
Yeah.
you anyway, and you had it all planned out. It was wonderful,
Correct.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
you speak about people today, youngsters today coming up from the poly and what have you. They don't have a clue, and seriously, it is normal. It is not. It's understandable. It's not like everyone has a plan, and it's not.
True.
It's okay. It's fine, right?
Yeah.
But you had that vision of okay, I'm going to do this, and you got it all planned out. So That's it worked out well for you, right? You went to Home United, and it probably coincided with you
Signing
uh,
on, yeah.
signing on and also being successful in a way, right?
Mm, yeah.
In terms of the football bit, obviously you won the league title at Geylang, but it just took off right from at Home United with the national team as well. Now, how is Home United different from the other clubs like Young Lions and Geylang? If there are any differences at that time, we're not
Yeah.
talking about now.
2004, amazing team.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think Steve W was the coach.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. So I know once you mention Steve W, yeah, we only train in the morning. Yeah, of course.
okay,
But the quality of players were amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's where I really picked up a lot and I learned a lot. Having the national backline in front of you, you
yeah,
have ID Money, Siva, you have Ideal there as a backup. It's
yeah.
amazing. And it's a local backup as well. Local
Exactly.
backline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and you have players like what you mentioned, Surachai.
yeah.
You have Anurag. I don't know if you remember Anurag.
Yes, 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 yes.
Anurag. You have
Yeah.
Suti. You have Perez. You have
Right.
Ekmal.
Yeah,
You have Indra.
yeah.
It's like everyone is fighting for a place in the team. You have
Right.
Fami. You have Azza. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's really the amount of talent in that team. Yeah, and you train like what you mentioned earlier. You train with Surachai.
yeah,
I'm always early in training. I think since the day I started, I'm always about an hour earlier,
yeah,
even for whatever trainings. So Surachai were there. What are you doing? Let's go for a run. So
yeah.
it's like non-stop 30 minutes. You just run. Yeah. So, but it's good because that's how I actually become stronger, become fitter.
And you became the fittest goalkeeper in Singapore as well.
I guess so. I think Sharil,
Yeah,
there's a few more fitter keeper as well. I think Sharil is pretty fit.
yeah, yeah,
I think
I know.
Fadil as well. Fadil Salim.
Fadil Salim, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
there's this. I think these few are pretty fit keepers. Yeah.
Uh, Talk about the professionalism
Hmm.
then, right? Obviously you had Steve Darby. How many years was he there at?
Well, I was with him till 2005, I guess, after he left.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, we talk about the professionalism of the players that back then. How was it like? You talk about
hmm.
all these players, right? Names rattle off and winning games. Is there really a secret about winning games? Yeah, you have good players, but speak about the professionalism of that squad of the players.
Like I say, I think it's amazing. Going to every game, they knew what they wanted. A
Yeah,
win is a must, I guess.
yeah,
Anything less than a win,
yeah,
it's a defeat for them.
yeah,
So yeah, having that kind of pressure actually made me a better player as well. But
yeah,
the thing is that the things I learned from that team, I think it's basically to play simple and happy football.
yeah,
Yeah. So you keep everything simple, keep it as
yeah.
simple as possible. That's what I learned from them. Keep it as simple, do the simple passes and enjoy. The main thing is you must enjoy your football. And that's where I started to really enjoy my football.
And Steve Darby was a manager, wasn't he? He was
It is definitely, yeah.
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 Yeah, is I mean, much traveled as well, and I'm probably going to get him on the podcast as well,
I think,
soon.
yeah, to add on about Steve, I think he knows how to get the best out of players.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I have to say this again, in my opinion, you can disagree as well. Uh, at that level, I don't know about today's
Yeah,
Singapore Premier League. At that level, then the players all knew how to do or knew how to pass a ball.
definitely.
They knew how to
Definitely.
cross a ball. They knew how to do this. They knew how to do that. It's all about the extras, right? Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Lionel, I think you take a break today because I want to give so and so a chance. Those kind of small little things that the coach or manager does. I think it's very very important, and it's
Very
it's
important. Yeah.
it's 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 back to
Yeah.
man management. And you talk about players just now. The name just rattles off, right? Like Suti and Money and Suti. When he was playing at Tanjung Pagar, when I was playing on
Buying it.
when I was playing on the same side as he, I just wanted to just had to get something like a dagger on the field to just stab him and stop him from
Yeah.
playing. He's amazing as well, very fast.
Yeah.
Who are the other coaches that you played under at Home United besides Steve Darby? I'm sure there were a few more. Okay. He,
Zopbox, yeah. And after which we have Sivaji. Sivaji came by.
yeah.
Vincent as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So all these tough coaches.
Very
Then after
very
which
tough. Yeah.
we have the Korean guy Lim Lee Xiang.
Okay.
Xiang, yeah.
Yeah.
So
He is now currently in the Korean
Suwon,
league as well.
Suwon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. a bit in a bit of a trouble as well there.
Yeah.
Playing in the AFC Cup, obviously you had the opportunity. You wouldn't get that chance playing for the Young Lions there. How was it, AFC Cup?
No, the level of competition is totally different. I think
Yeah.
you're playing with one of the best in
Yeah.
Asia, so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. But we won some games. I think we beat Lebanon team and so on. We went all the way to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's having to play the semi-finals in Syria. I think it was amazing.
Okay. Now your time at Home United in terms of league titles, how many did you win?
I did not win any league titles at home.
Oh, sorry, you did not win, but you won
Cups,
two
two
Singapore
cups.
Cups
Yeah,
with Home United.
yeah.
Now, it's a good point now. I just want to ask you that. Did you guys underachieve? Do you think that you underachieved for that long period of time with the players that you had in terms of league titles for yourself, right? I'm sure Home United before that they did. Did they underachieve?
I would say yes in the earlier stage, maybe in 2005 or so, but 2006, that's where you have a revamp. I think majority of the players have left,
Okay.
and new younger players are coming in from 2006, 2007 onwards. Yeah.
Okay, so the earlier part, right? 2004, 2005, you
But
probably
after 2006, it was basically a revamp, So you have
yeah.
more younger players coming in, and all the foreigners are leaving. Yeah.
Okay. Is it safe to say the best coach you played under at Home United was Steve Dubs?
Yeah.
Darby? Yeah?
Vincent
Okay.
as well, I think.
Okay. Here's a question for you. Best local striker you played against?
Wow. There's a lot, man. Yeah. I know.
Okay,
There's
name me a few.
Alameda,
Yeah,
there's Indra, there's Latif. My God, these three, I would say.
these three local players, yeah. Uh, this is my opinion, right? Indra Shadan is a natural finisher, isn't he? Like
Yeah.
just inside the box,
That's it. Give him the ball, during
right.
his prime, it's going to go in. Yeah.
He's deadly, and obviously Ahmad Latif was strong, powerful.
Very.
And what can you say about Nolam Shah as well? Absolutely brilliant. Best local defender you played with?
Wow. This is also very tough.
Don't name me four. I just want one.
Yeah.
Just one.
One.
Just one. Come on.
Wow. I don't want to offend anyone. Maybe I would say the back line of Home United. Then
Okay, who were Mani?
ID Money, yeah, Siva.
Okay. Okay. Best foreign striker you played against?
As foreign striker, I would say Marco
Grabovac.
Rabovac.
Okay. Best foreign defender you played with?
Valerie
Valerie, what is?
Heck.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
At home, obviously.
Right. Now this is a question, right? If you were to rank the local goalkeepers that played in your time, right?
Yeah.
And okay, even now, let's put everything into all the goalkeepers, right? Local goalkeepers. Who will be your top three minus yourself,
Rizal,
right?
Sharil, and Hassan.
Hassan Sani, right? You played with Hassan at Geylang, did you?
No.
No.
We were different clubs. Yeah.
Okay.
He was in Hassan. I was at Young Lions first. He was in Geylang.
Yeah.
Then I had to go. Yeah. Then.
Right. He came to Geylang at 2003. Yes, when I played with him. Yep. So those were, yeah. We forgot about Rizal Hassan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a great goalkeeper. Great goalkeeper.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and amazing goalkeeper. How would you describe your rivalry with them? Rivalry in terms of the national team.
Yeah.
And obviously you're good friends of it. It doesn't matter. But how would you talk about? Was it a healthy rivalry? Was it was there any quarrels?
I think this is why then we were talking about professionalism.
Yeah.
I think basically, off the field, we are very good friends. We chill around, we hang around together, and so on. But once we're on the field, that's it. No nonsense.
Yeah.
We were all there to fight for a spot, and only the best can play.
Yeah.
So everybody gives their best.
And listen, let's not talk about the physical attributes and whatever, right? I wouldn't be a goalkeeper. No, the reason is very simple. Let's take away the physical attributes and the ability wise, because you have three goalkeepers in a squad, right?
Yep.
I think you train like hell because
Yeah.
I've seen you guys train, because the rest period in between is not much, because you only have three goalkeepers and then you do your drills and what have you, and
Yeah.
then you have to. I wouldn't be a goalkeeper, right? It's crazy the training that you do, and then on game day only one place. And what is the chances of the guy who's on on the sub bench playing, right? Because it's almost zero.
Yeah.
Maybe I give you a 1% chance if the goalkeeper gets injured.
Yeah.
Unlike outfield players,
Outfit.
when you have a chance, like
Yeah.
you have three substitutes. So it's an amazing position, and probably that's why you guys are crazy, right? Because the
Yeah. I
amount
think.
of you
Yeah.
you you have to be angry if you don't play on game day.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
no matter how hard you train, because imagine if the keeper is playing not so well,
yeah,
and no matter how hard, how many saves you made in training, doesn't change the mind of the coach.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Unless the keeper gets injured.
and it's
Yeah.
also a position where it's not. I wouldn't compare you to referees, right? Because it's not a thankful job to be in, because
Yeah.
you can make, again, it's a cliche, you make 89 minutes of great work. You do 89 minutes of great work. The last minute you just drop a ball and the ball goes
Yeah.
through your legs. It's
That's it. The whole game will be about the ball through your legs.
exactly. And again,
Yeah.
my point. Who would want to be a goalkeeper? Playing for Singapore, what was your debut like? Do you remember your
Wow.
first game
Yes. That
against?
was 2001.
Yeah,
My first year in Geylang.
right.
I don't know whether was that a national call up or so, but 2001, the first game I played for Singapore was against Liverpool.
What a start, right?
Yeah.
To play against Liverpool. What was this? It's an
It's
invitational.
yeah, there's 2001. I think Liverpool came for Asia tour or so on. So yeah, we play Liverpool in this week, and the week after we play Man U. So I'm
Right, right.
surprised to be named in that squad. Yeah,
Do you play?
I played in the second half of both games.
Right, Man U and Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Was
Yeah,
this during their preseason? I'm sure it was.
yeah, it was in preseason.
So was it a good experience playing against the likes of, who was there? Was it Michael Owen was playing?
Yeah, Owen, Fowler,
Wow,
Heskey. Yeah,
right,
it's massive team. Yeah,
great. Who gave you your first cap? The real,
the real cap.
A game cap.
I think Ian Paulson.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, so it must have been a wonderful experience. I spoke to Haris Harun as well, earning his first cap, and he was off the bench, coming off the bench, and everything was okay until he got the call. Okay, go and warm up, and he was like,
yeah.
okay, right. So it must have been a great experience for you as well. Sea Games experience, right? You
Yeah.
played in three.
Three.
Did you? What medals did you win?
No medals at all. We couldn't make it through the first round, and all
For
three. So yeah,
for all three, right?
all three. Yeah.
Now here's a question: what was the problem over the years? What was the problem? Because again, I spoke to Haris, and Haris was saying, I think he played in three as well. If my memory serves me correctly, he played in three, and he said in 1 or 2 years they were pretty unlucky at certain stages. Right? They played against Thailand, for example, and then at 0-0, we missed a superb opportunity to score, and then they went ahead to score just before halftime. Those kind of small little things, right? Uh, to you, in your opinion, what was the problem then, and over the years as well with SEA Game squads?
Yeah. I think if you ask me during my time with SEA Games squads, we don't have a clinical finisher at a point
Okay,
of time. And
okay,
the players maybe, like I said, 2003 we played in the local league, all locals.
yeah,
We have proper guidance, if
okay,
to be honest, in my opinion, yeah. So if we play with better players and we come together maybe just months before the SEA Games,
yeah,
that would be much better because in the first half of the year we'll be able to pick
yeah,
up more skills, more
right.
exposure. Yeah,
Also, you are thinking the other way around, right? I mean, being with clubs and then coming together for like
correct.
so-called a centralized training, because by
Yeah,
then you guys should already been, with the better players, so-called better players, and stuff like that.
yeah.
Uh, Again, right? Could we win it anytime soon, in your opinion?
I hope so, man.
I
If
don't
you
want to
ask
hear.
me
I don't want to hear
realistically,
a hope. I want.
uh,
I just want to know whether we could win.
realistically, I think our neighboring countries are moving very far ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope with this COVID situation, everybody back to normal. So we start at ground zero again.
Going
So that puts
going through the
all
back
of
door.
us, yeah, let's put all of us back to square one.
Yeah, and again, like you said, I think again, in my opinion, nothing to do with you. I think it's all about the quality in the end, right? You do not have the quality, then it's a problem.
I
Tiger
think
Cup
quality.
2000. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry,
Sorry,
Lionel.
just
You were
wait.
saying,
I think quality, right? We do have. It's
yep,
just the mindset. We
right.
need to change the mindset of the young players now. That's not
Interesting.
easy.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. Because
This
I'm
is
working with youth now, so I think
right,
you yourself as well. It's
right.
basically their mindset. Yeah.
Uh, when you say mindset, it's got to do with attitudes as well, right? It's
I
a
think.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, it's
Yeah. It's
a
a long topic if you're gonna start. Yeah.
I'm going to start another podcast, just a separate podcast on attitudes.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I think you are really, really right. We've got to
Yeah.
get ourselves, you know,
Mm.
we've got the quality. We've got some great
Yeah.
players. I'm at
Honestly.
ITE. You are at
Yeah.
Nanyang Poly. You see some good players who are playing in the national setup, the NFA, so-called NFAs, and there's some good players in there. They could just walk into any Malaysian sites, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, you can just walk into any Malaysian sites, but it's the I don't know what you call it, the attitude to be
Yeah.
right up with the best. It's just missing.
Correct.
We move on. Again, I'm going to start another podcast for that topic. Tiger Cup 2004.
Yeah.
Tell me about the tournament, Lionel. I
Oh,
want to hear this.
I'm surprised to get a start. I was doing my BMT in
Okay.
Home United, playing for AFC. I think I did pretty okay for AFC.
Yeah.
And the national team went on a training tour to Japan and Korea.
Was this
So
ready?
yeah, ready. So I
Okay.
started in one or two games in Korea,
Yeah.
and eventually we are playing the Japan game. I think it's a World Cup qualifier, Japan against
Okay.
Singapore. I'm
Okay.
surprised I started again
Yeah.
in Saitama. Yeah.
And so you got the call up for Tiger Cup
Yeah.
from those
From
performances. Ready called you up. Who were the other goalkeepers in that squad?
Shario and Hassan.
Sure, Hassan, some
Yeah.
good tough fight there. So did you play in all the games?
For Tiger Cup,
Tiger Cup, yes.
yeah, I played all.
You played in all.
Yeah.
And it went well.
Yeah, it went pretty well.
It's not pretty well, it's just being
Yeah.
humble. You were voted the MVP for that tournament. Now obviously you won that tournament as well.
Yeah.
And MVP is the most valuable player. For a goalkeeper, winning it, especially winning it for the winning team, because obviously if you
Yeah.
talk about a tournament that a team wins, you talk about their strikers who scored maybe
Mhm.
the top, who bagged
Top
the
score.
top scorer award, your creative midfielder,
Yeah.
maybe a centre back, maybe, right,
Yeah.
if he's solid and stuff. But for a goalkeeper to have won it, it's absolutely amazing. What was the experience like? Was there like an official award ceremony after the game, the last game?
There was, yeah. So after the final, after we get our medals, they awarded the most valuable player. Then after that, there's the final, the
Okay.
team medal, yeah.
Yep.
So to me, I think in my mind, I think individual awards is not important. Let's be
Okay.
honest, yeah.
Okay.
At that point of time, our aim was only to do well because Singapore football has been pretty bad in the last few years. A bad experience in 2002
Okay.
in the Tiger Cup. So 2004, we just want to redeem ourselves, show them
Okay.
what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty an amazing tournament for you. Was there any particular point in a game, for example, that you said, "Oh wow, what a good save"? Any particular game that you made a great save, for example, was there?
I think there were there are pretty lot of saves I need to make though. I think in those in the Tiger Cup, honestly. So it was
Okay.
like just concentration. I was then young, raring to go, wanting to
Okay.
prove myself. Yeah. So thankful to be given the opportunity to play.
A
That's the
few
most
a
important
few names that you went against, like some top names in the cup.
thing. Well, Indonesia and many man, Boas,
Okay.
Boas. Yeah. Then
Okay.
you have Bang Bang.
Okay.
Yeah. All the top players. Kunawan.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So all the
Wonderful. Uh, can I safely say that that was the best back four you played for with Singapore for the
I would
national
say,
team?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So was it the same back four with home?
Nope.
Because you get
Minus Bai and Daniel.
so who was the back four in the 2004 squad or team?
You have Mani, Baihaki, you have ID and Daniel Bennett.
Okay,
Yeah.
correct. So Bai was in there as well, and what a start for him as well. Because I
Yeah.
remembered he won the young player of the year in 2003 for Geylang when
Yeah.
I was there, right? and then the
Yep.
next year, and obviously things went on from there. So yeah, what a back four you played in, right? It's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. How was working with Reddy?
It was pretty straightforward. I think he's also a good man management. Yeah, he has
Yeah,
good man management skills as well. Like I
yeah,
say,
yeah,
he knows how to speak to players. He
yeah,
knows how to talk to players. Yeah,
yeah.
but let's be honest. The only thing I dread is the long meetings. My God.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So honestly, as a national player, I think some of the experience you really enjoy. But the meetings are. It's good. It's good to have those meetings. It's important. Yeah, to talk. But my God.
Well, you heard this first, right? From
Yeah.
Lionel. Team meetings can be boring, but when you say meeting, is it a pre-match meeting or what kind of meeting is it? Or is it like a
If
midweek?
you're on centralized training, basically you have many meetings. You have pre-match meetings, you have pre-game meetings. Yeah, but I guess it all worked for us. All after all those boring meetings. There's the saying that you do the boring things well, you actually do well.
Well
Yeah.
said.
So
Can
yeah,
you repeat that again?
yeah. If you do the boring things well, maybe you can do better. So all the boring meetings maybe make us awake when on the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, like you talk about a lot of opinions out there, right? Like you can't do this, you can't run before a game, you can't do this, you can't meet for 100 hours before a game. At the end of the day, he won the tournament 3 times. Did he win the tournament 3 times? The Suzuki Cup already,
Yeah.
or
Three
yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah,
Three
three
times.
times. So, what can you say about the man, right?
Yeah.
There's so many opinions out there. At the end of the day, people will look at you for the results and what you have done in life.
Yeah.
Of all the international tournaments that you played in, the World Cup qualifiers, Asian Games, Suzuki Cup,
Mm.
and in the S League as well, which was your most memorable game, if you can just think of one?
Oh, I would say winning the 2004 back home, having a 3-1 lead in Indonesia,
Yeah,
beating Indonesia 3-1 in Senayan, and then
yeah,
coming back to win 2-0, 2-1 in Singapore. I
yeah,
think it's amazing. Yeah, because the home crowd, even before the game started, in the
yeah.
afternoon, the hype was there. Stadiums are full. You don't get that now. Now you get full of empty seats. Yeah. So previously you get
Yeah,
it was full. Yeah, even before games, before warm up, when you just alight from the bus heading to changing room,
yeah.
you can see the Kalang wave, you
Right,
can hear people
right,
cheering and so on. It's different. The kind of
right.
atmosphere is totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Um, 2006 Asian Footballer of the Year nomination. Right.
Yeah.
How was that? How did you get the news in the first place?
I remember this pretty clearly. I was in Asian Games with the
Okay.
national under 23 team.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Doha, in Qatar.
Okay.
So Radi came forward together with Eugene, the then team manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they says that you have been nominated for this and you are the only goalkeeper for this award. So I was asking them, what award is this?
Yeah.
So this award ceremony is supposed to happen in Dubai and stuff,
Right.
sometime. So you need to travel. I says, no, I'm not going. Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
So I don't know. That point of time, I had games and I have. I think it's more important at that point of time. Like I mentioned, team sport. The team is more important than individual.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's great to be nominated. I think it's an amazing, record for me. But to me, all these are history.
Well said. And okay, we don't know about this exactly, right? So when the
Yeah.
nomination was it came in a letter, obviously, and it people
Yeah.
told you about it. The team manager spoke to you about it. There wasn't any mention of winners or whatever yet, right?
I
It
think
was
there
big
is. Yeah. After the award ceremony, then they
after
actually
the,
met.
no, as in after you were nominated.
Yeah. No
How many
winners yet.
no winners yet? So I mean, as in like you don't know, you don't
Yeah.
have a hint of.
No
That's what
hit.
I'm
No.
trying to ask you.
Yeah.
No hint whatsoever who's going to win it, right?
Yep.
Now as a goalkeeper as well, it must have been again, it's to be nominated for, and we're not talking about like a tournament like the MVP.
Yeah.
We're talking about Asian Footballer of the Year, and I believe that you are the first Singaporean to do it or to be nominated.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
what an amazing achievement that was. And I gotta say this, I'm gonna read out these names, right? Kodadat
Mm.
Azizi, Nakata,
Yeah.
uh, Ali Dai, right?
Yes. Correct.
Fang Zhi, Shinji Ono,
Yeah.
Madhavikia, Ali Karimi. These are the guys who actually won those those
Yeah.
awards, right? And to be not in that same year, but to be actually nominated for such a thing,
Yeah, and I think if I'm not wrong, I think there's Park Ji-sung and so on. So you're talking about players playing in EPL,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
have someone here playing in S League. You know,
exactly. It's
so the yeah,
Uh,
I couldn't believe it at first, yeah. But to me, these things doesn't get to my head. These are just extra bonuses for me, if you ask me.
do you get certificates of sorts, like nomination for whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, let's be honest. I don't keep my medals. No, everything, all my medals and certs are all actually at my parents' place. So,
Yeah.
mom's place. I'm not too sure what I have. It's all
No.
history.
I again, there are many schools of thought, and I am exactly like you. It's
Yeah,
we talk about them. It's good. It's fine. It's a
yeah.
tangible, but I think it's more than the tangible that we look for. It's like
It's
knowing that
memories.
you've already done it. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm a champion. Nothing is going to take that away from me. Even if you
yeah,
steal that medal, I am still a champion. That kind of
yeah.
thing, and it's amazing. That's amazing thought there. And I think Arsene Wenger. Are you an Arsenal fan?
Nope.
Nope.
I
Okay.
don't support any EPL teams. Yeah,
Great. So Arsene Wenger said that as well, right? Of all the medals that he doesn't care, right? Because you know that you've done something for yourself. Uh, that's wonderful. Now let's talk about your overseas stints, right?
yeah,
When you went to a few clubs, Arsenal, Man City, and of course you had a trial with Grasshoppers.
yeah.
How was your experience like? Let's start with Arsenal. How old were you then?
Okay, that was in year 2000 before I actually played my first S League. So Shahril and myself, I think, together with FAS and Gelang Patrick, I
Yeah,
think they sent both of us there for I think about a month or so
two
for
of
a
you
long.
went, just
Yeah,
two
two of us,
goalkeepers.
both
Yeah.
of us.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah, we trained with the Arsenal team and the reserve team. Yeah, we worked with a goalkeeper coach, Mike Kelly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing.
Any not get together. Any experience with the first team squad at that time, and first team
Yeah, we
players?
we we do walk past them because we were in the same training ground, same
Yeah,
training ground. So,
yeah.
but then the reserves team were amazing. You training with players like Ashley Cole, David Bentley,
Okay,
Jermaine Pena,
okay.
you know,
Yeah,
uh, players who don't play in the EPL or the games, they actually come and train in the
yeah,
reserves team.
yeah.
So you have Kanu,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you have Menninger, Alex Menninger,
Alex Menninger. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, you work with them. It's amazing, lah. It's really, I think, the kind of experience as a young boy, a 17, 18-year-old boy,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
getting
it's
the kind
it's
of thing to experience.
a
Yeah.
wonderful experience. Do you say hi to Jermaine Pennant when he was here playing for
Nope.
Tampines?
I was out of the scene then. Yeah.
All right. Man City. How was it? Which year was this in Man City?
2007. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
How
I
was
think
that
that.
like?
Yeah. I'm also surprised. I've got a link up from FA or something. To actually
Okay.
travel there for a trial because then
This
in
was
year
a
2000
trial. This was a trial.
it was a trial for their parent club. Not parent club. I think for their other clubs. Which they have, which is
Ah,
Grasshopper.
okay,
Because
okay.
Mark Kelly,
Yeah,
then in year 2000, the coach, which actually I went to Arsenal and
yeah,
trained.
yeah.
So yeah, after all the recommendations, he actually invited me back for a trial, just
Okay,
to want to have a second look, yeah, in Man
okay.
City and so on.
And
So
Grasshoppers as well. You went for for the
yeah,
trials as well.
yeah.
Did
But the sad thing is that the minute I arrived at Grasshopper, he left.
as in Kelly left?
Yeah,
Okay. But
yeah,
was it a good stint in terms of trials? What was the reviews then
yeah.
from those guys
I
over there?
think in Man City, I think it was good though. Training with the first teams, yeah, Joe
Yeah.
Hart, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
Kasper Schmeichel,
Wow. Okay.
Andreas Isaacson, Swedish
Yeah.
number one, yeah.
Yeah.
So day in day out, you train with them, you eat with them, you do gym with them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Okay.
I think a week or so. Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, then you have Asian player as well, Sun Ji Hai.
yes.
He's
Yes.
now, I
Yes.
guess, he's some billionaire in China or something. Yeah, with some major companies. If I'm not wrong. I read up.
Like what, TikTok?
I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Um.
So
Now, what is the difference, right, between all
yeah,
these clubs, Arsenal, Man City, Grasshoppers, that you played in? At least you had a chance to, not play in, but train. And what are the differences between all these clubs and I'm just trying to say in terms of the training part, right? What are the differences
I think, like I say, the most
compared to
important thing
our
is
clubs? I mean,
right
right?
to our clubs, right?
Yeah,
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 I would say that quality-wise, at
yeah.
that age, we are not far apart. Yeah.
Okay,
The only thing that we are far apart is maybe physics.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But the most important thing again boils down to what I mentioned earlier is the mindset.
Right.
Yeah, it's our players' mindset. Yeah, when I just came off a plane when I was in Man City. I arrived at
Yeah.
Manchester about 5 a.m.
Yeah.
They told me you're heading to the hotel, put your stuff, and you have 10 minutes. The car will pick you for training. So I
Okay.
said, okay. What time is training? 7:30. I said, fine. So okay, we head for training without any rest. Put my bags, got my boots, gloves. That's it.
Yeah.
Once I reached the club, got my kit, introduced to the kit man, got
Yeah.
my stuffs
Yeah.
ready, changed.
Yeah.
First thing, 8 a.m., gym work.
Okay.
And we are not talking about, resistance training or body weights kind of weights.
Yeah.
We're talking about 100 over kg kind of weights.
Okay.
First thing in the morning at 8
Yeah.
a.m. And so I asked them, I asked Joe Hart, I said, is this just, today's session is just gym? He said, no, it's normal. So 8 to 9 is their gym work.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was freezing though, because that was in
Yeah.
the December, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
So no time to acclimatize.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, I was on the field,
After the
diving
gym,
around
yeah. After the gym
at the
training,
gym.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 hours on the field, and we are back in at about 11. So can you
Yeah.
imagine the kind of hours which people don't see the EPL players putting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you actually work on the field, the
Yeah.
gym work. Yeah. So I thought
And
that was the end, After 11, go home after lunch. No. After that, told me next training at 2 o'clock. No
was
chance to
this
go back to the hotel.
was this part of pre-season or
No, in season.
in season? Yeah.
Yeah. I was fortunate because I traveled with the team up to Birmingham as well, and then
Okay.
they had away games in Aston Villa. So I was in
Yeah.
the bus together with the first team.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, I just want to say this, and you talk about the mindset and the attitudes of players with the coaching wise and the training sessions as well. In my opinion, again, okay, and I'm not an expert, but I do feel that we talk about the training sessions that they do and we do, right?
Yeah.
It is almost similar because what we do, we can get it from Google, we can get it from the internet, we can get it from the
Yeah.
YouTube, and we can just go into courses and get all these drills and whatever. They are similar to the ones overseas with the top sites. But it is, I believe that it's the intensity of the training as well, the
Yes.
mindset, the attitudes of the players as well. It's totally different, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like I said, I think a very good example is in year 2000. I think when Sharon and myself, we were in training at
Yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah,
The first team, apparently, I think Lee Dixon just came forward about this a
okay,
couple of weeks ago. I think he
yeah.
had he tackled Beckham, Dennis
The, that is
Beckham.
Beckham, yeah,
Yeah, so he tennis tackle. After that, they had a few punches. They throw a
yeah,
few punches,
yeah,
and afterwards they are fine sitting down and having lunch together.
yeah,
So
true,
that's the kind of professionalism we're talking about. They're
yeah,
going in for the ball, and if
yeah,
they happen to injure their friend, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's I again it all boils down to the attitudes and the mentality as well,
yeah.
right? Which year did you retire in?
2012,
Why? At what? Okay, at what age?
30.
Why?
Why? Injuries is one. Yeah, I picked up a couple of injuries, but not that serious to be honest. But contract-wise, I got pretty sick discussing about contracts. Yeah.
Every single year,
So
yeah?
yeah, so you're talking
Yeah,
about getting renewal year after year and stuff, and
yeah,
we're not talking about increasing your your pay and so on. Talking about getting lesser pay cut yearly. So I don't foresee myself
yeah,
moving in that direction in the long run.
yeah,
Yeah, of course, I have a family, and I have what I mentioned earlier. I always know what I wanted.
yeah,
So I was thinking if I had a good offer, why not leave the scene
yeah,
and I start young. So any point of time where if I'm going to play till about 35 to 38 and I retire and I start my second career, that's where I have problem picking up in my
yeah,
career after football. So if I
right.
start young, why not? I can actually pick up and maybe who knows might even do better.
Uh, Good point. And also, the reason why I asked you why early is not only because it's early, but it's also because of the position that you play in, right? You see
Yeah,
goalkeepers who can go on and on and on, and they never
yeah,
seem to lose that edge. Probably, maybe in terms of reflexes, yes, but they just make up for it with
yeah.
their
Experience.
positioning and stuff like that and their experience. Did anybody say to you, no, Lionel, I think you better stay? I'm not talking about your family. I'm talking about the professional
Many,
people.
many,
Yeah,
many.
right,
Yeah. Many coaches from other clubs as well. They came.
right.
Are you keen to play part time? Are you keen to do this? But knowing myself, once I said that's it, means that's it. I
Okay.
won't go back. Yeah.
Right. That's good. Do you miss the dressing room? Not miss. Not. I'm not asking for whether you have any regrets. Obviously, you don't. I'm talking about. Do you miss the atmosphere in the dressing room? Coming into
Really?
the
Yeah.
dressing room when Alex is mouthing
Yeah.
off and being irritating on
Yeah.
in the dressing room. Things like that.
Yeah. Of course. I think, having said that, I always early in training, always the first in training, and
Right.
always almost the last to leave.
Right.
So yeah, I love the changing room, atmosphere and so on. It's
Yeah.
totally different. You can interact with your friends, you have chill on your day and so on.
So
So,
you've
but
been. Sorry, you
yeah.
were saying?
No, but then you get the same thing in office as well. No, I don't know. I get that with my friends and my colleagues in office.
Great,
So
great.
yeah,
I think your the people that you work with, the people that you're around with, the company, it's very important, especially
that's right.
especially when you're working, right? And you don't
Yeah,
feel that it's work because of the banter and what have you. It's same with
yeah,
it's like football.
yep,
It's especially, but not a lot of people get that, right? I'm talking about working
yeah,
life. Not a lot of
yeah,
people get that, so you are pretty lucky. So you've been at NYP ever since
yeah.
2000.
Since
Tell us
2013.
tell us what do you do exactly?
So I'm actually in the student development
I'm sure you got
part.
promoted a couple of times.
Nah, I think title is not important in my
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
say, title
yeah.
is not important in the a matured organization lah. So for me in NYP, I'm basically there to actually provide the opportunity for students. Yeah,
Okay.
not basically only in football, because when I was young, I was provided with
Yeah.
given all these opportunities, to be a
Okay.
national athlete, the
Okay.
training things and so on. So if I have or I can help any players or any young student athletes in
Yeah.
NYP
Yeah.
to give them the kind of opportunity which I had, so I think it's amazing.
Uh,
So that's how I actually try to change things in NYP. Try to make trainings more professional and so on. Yeah,
so you are overall in charge of the CCAs and the
and the sports
management.
complex,
Yeah, the
yeah,
management of the
sports
sports part of it. Uh, I also understand that you do take sessions as well, as in physical
Yeah,
sessions. Yeah.
I conduct a few S&C sessions. I think basically
Right.
with the influence of Sasha previously.
Right. Right.
So in the national team,
Right.
Alexander Bozenko. Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
he had a huge influence on me. I think
Right.
basically talking about core training,
Great.
stability, resistance. I think that kept me going as well and keeps me stronger up till now.
Great. And you're a family man as well.
Yeah.
Two kids, two daughters.
No, one girl, one boy.
Uh, how old are they?
My daughter is 12. My boy is 8.
Yeah, they grow up very fast, don't they?
Yeah, time flies.
So, especially during this pandemic, it's pretty tough. Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to stay at home and keeping up. Well done. I. I have to say congratulations to you for whatever you've done, achieve in terms of football, your career, and especially being happy with what you do right now in terms of
Yeah.
your work and obviously a married man with two kids. Congratulations on that. But I
Thank
won't
you.
let you go so fast because I have a challenge for you. Right? If you had listened to my earlier podcast, I do have this challenge called the Silverfox Hustle podcast challenge, and I will name you 10 stuff. Can be anything under the sun. Can be a
Okay.
name. Can be an can be anything. Right? You have
My God.
to give me one word which is positive about that thing. Very simple.
Okay.
Okay, just
I'll
one,
try.
but you cannot repeat it for 10 times, right?
Okay.
Can. The first one. Number one, Robert Lim.
One word.
One word.
Men-
Positive, please. Sorry?
mentor.
Number two, Geylang United.
Opportunity.
Nice. Number three, PN Sivaji.
Um, Give me a while, yeah. uh, it's a good person you can talk to. One word.
One word.
One word. Mentor as well. Cannot use the same word.
Okay, good person to talk to, right? Approachable, right?
Approachable. Okay, can.
Okay. Number four, Home United.
Wow.
I'll take
Wow.
that. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Number five, Ready.
Thankful.
Number six, Syaril Jantan.
Friend.
Nice. Number seven, Lionel Lewis as a dad.
Awesome.
Number eight, S. Subramani.
Leader.
Nice. Number 9, your AFC Player of the Year 2006 nomination.
Memories.
Nice. And the last one, right? Simple. Lionel Lewis.
History.
History.
It's over.
It's over. It's over for this podcast, at least for now.
Yeah.
Well done, Lionel Lewis. Thanks for being on this episode number 10, right, of the Silverfox Hustle podcast. Now, before you go, right, do you have any advice for budding goalkeepers in general, and of course any budding athletes? Since you are at NYP dealing with youth athletes, any advice for them for the future, coming from someone who has made it in terms of playing for the national side, winning things, winning the league titles and stuff like that? I think it would be nice to hear that from you, and they will definitely follow some of your advice.
Okay. So I think if you listen to the earlier part of the podcast, I did mention that keep doing the boring things right.
Right.
Anything you do, there's always setbacks. You cannot play your best for every game. You cannot perform your best at every matches and so on.
Yeah.
So definitely you have setbacks, you make mistakes, but work on your mistakes. Any mistakes or any confidence issue, go back to the normal stuff, your basics. So if you do your basics correctly, I guess your confidence will come back again, and there you are, back to your normal self. For any young student athletes, one more advice: I think never be afraid to make mistakes. That's all. Just have fun.
Well said. How about goalkeepers? Any specific to goalkeepers?
Specific to goalkeepers, I think don't let any goal that gone past you affect you. So basically, you will concede many goals, in trainings, in games, and so on. Press can say whatever negative stuff about it.
Right.
But the most important thing is never let it get to your head. Just keep working.
Thanks, Lionel. I think that has been quite a good episode, a great episode. In fact, thanks for spending like almost an hour, or actually 1 hour with me, taking time off from your work. Thank you very much. I will see you soon, Lionel. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Keep safe.
Yep, you too.